So this is going on from the last clip where I explained the safety phase of the child engagement model that I use. The child engagement model is something that Greg Santucci, an American OT, came up with. You can search him, it's his work. But I follow this model in my company, and it's based on 3 phases. First, achieving safety, then working through regulation, and then participation. The safety phase, as I explained in the last clip, means that I make myself a safe person for that child, and that means I wait until they feel comfortable with me. I don't encourage them to come out of a place they feel safe. If they're better at home, then I see them in the home environment. I take things with purpose so we can have a purposeful conversation. Autistic and ADHD children need purpose. They're purpose-driven, they're sensory-driven. So taking fidgets and having something to talk about enables the lack of intrusive thoughts they often have when therapists are coming in asking questions and, asking how they feel and all these things they don't know how to answer. And they certainly don't want to be asked that by someone they barely know. So I would never get to that point. I actually never ask interrogatory sort of questions like that. I might learn some of those answers as I get to know the little person, but I certainly don't ask those questions. I'd find that really intrusive myself. So safety phase is about taking in fidgets, having a purposeful conversation, making myself a safe person. It's not about a reward. I don't use reward charts. The child doesn't have to do anything to get the fidgets. Everybody gets free fidgets. And I leave them on the table. If they stay in their room the whole time, I'll just leave them on the table and they still get them. Then after that, after I can tell that they feel safe with me, they're excited for me to turn up, the mum's like, holy dooly, when are you coming? Please don't cancel. They're so excited. Then I work on what's called the regulation phase. And what that is I'm trying to work out what do they need to regulate their body. What do they need to integrate their brain and body? So their intellectual needs for stimulation along with their physical and sensory needs, their interoceptive sensory needs, their body processes, the connection between brain and body. How does that child regulate themselves? And that's very much about sensory assessments and understanding how much stimming they need. Are they reward-driven children? Are they rejection-sensitive children? Do they need a lot of dopamine all the time, or they get dysregulated and they can't cope? Are they constantly worried about how they're perceived by other people? Are they, that really strong rejection-sensitive profile? Understanding how they can be regulated. So what do I need to help them do or avoid in order to feel safe in their body and feel comfortable? Because the hyperactivity, the impulsivity, the dysregulation, the hiding, the avoidance, the shutdown, the meltdown, that happens when you're not able to maintain a regulated state. So the regulation phase for me is about learning how to co-regulate with the child so that I can help and anticipate things and help them remain as regulated as possible. And it's about teaching the child strategies around self-regulation so that they can actually learn what they need to do in their body and what access to input they need and what sensory things they need to avoid. And how much intellectual stimulation and dopamine they need and where to get it from. So that's that regulation phase.